5, 4, 3, 2, and we are live, but I don't see nothing. There we go. All right. We are live. Everybody. Still got to get that camera and everything set up. In your book bag?
It's coming, it's going, it's coming out here now.
That's a, bro, we can eat that, boy.
Okay.
It's a beetle.
So when you get over here, I'll smash.
That's all I say. Chris don't kill it.
Chris don't kill them.
I'm talking about you.
You just love to run around the house.
Them bugs misunderstood. Yeah, they misunderstood. It's just like we are. You see a spider, you be like, I gotta kill that spider. Spider ain't done nothing.
Yeah, I know.
That's how the world do us. Look at him. I gotta kill him. If I don't kill him, he gonna do something. She gonna do something. That's what we do to the spider.
That's real.
The spider ain't bothering nobody. Just walking around outside. In your mind, you see a spider in the yard, you're like, if I don't kill it, it's gonna bite me one day. Like, that spider ain't worried about you. All right. Okay. All right, Shalom, brothers and sisters. We had a bug in here. What is this? What is this? The fourth Sabbath of the year. We're moving right along already. Yeah, forgive me. But yeah, as y'all know, we are, we're Pamela Prince among men in the higher. We wear that name with a badge of honor. Sisters, y'all are princes among men in the higher and women too. All right. We're glad to be here this morning. Y'all gonna have to forgive me if I get long-winded this morning, but I'm a little tired this morning, but we're gonna get through it. I can't let my flesh win. Of course, we're gonna be doing a lesson today called Flesh. Just piggybacking off of what we've been through. Some of the lessons we already been through the last couple weeks, last 3 weeks. With that being said, I just want to thank the Most High for allowing me to get through this week. Just thanking him, thank him for me, for allowing me to get some rest this week and being able to get things done. Thank you for the rain. We had rain and it kind of washed that pollen out. So thankful for that. Thankful for my family as well. Anybody else got anything they want to be, get the Most High some thanks for? Y'all go right ahead.
Yep. I thank the Most High for everything, for us gathering together, and another week, another Sabbath of rest. So, yeah, everything.
I want to just give the Most High thanks for things that he's been doing with me and my family as we progress. Just want to give him thanks.
I want to thank the Most High for my mama still being here and for the health and strength of my family and get me through the week.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and pray, and then we'll get started. We'll read Ecclesiastes, the 4th chapter, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the lesson. Everybody has their head covered. Sisters, please cover your heads if you're following along. Brothers, uncover your head.
We got to be the 5th chapter.
Oh, it's the 5th week?
Mm-hmm.
Boy. Okay. Forgive me.
It's all good, man.
Thank you for correcting me, Mike. Let's pray. Ahaya, we thank you for all things, Ahaya. Everybody had things that they wanted to thank you for. I know we do it as individuals, by ourselves, Ahaya, but we just thank you for things and in front of our brothers and sisters. Ahaya, we just I would like to pray for for everybody in Pama. I pray for their health, Ahaya. I just pray, Ahaya, that again that you allow us to continue to be fervent as we move forward this year. We just thank you for all the opportunities that in the future that you're going to present us to spread the true gospel. And I just thank you that. Excuse me. I just pray that you allow me to make it through this lesson. I just pray you loosen my tongue. Give me and Mike the wisdom and understanding we need to teach your word. In Saint Shai's name we pray. Amen. All right, so we're in Ecclesiastes, Sirach, chapter 5, and we have 15 verses. So we have 4 people here today, and we will read, I guess, 4 apiece. Last person to read 3. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start it off. Set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thine own mind and thine strength, to walk in the ways of thy heart. And say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Most High will surely revenge thy pride. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm have happened unto me? For the Most High is long suffering; he will in no wise let thee go.
Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation resteth upon sinners. No tarrying to turn to the Most High, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Most High come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Set not thine heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity.
Went now not with every wind, and go not into every way. For so do the sinner that have a double tongue. Be steadfast in thy understanding, and let thy word be the same. Be swift to hear, and let thy life be sincere. And with patience give answers. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. Be not called a whisper, and lie not in wait with thy tongue. For a foul shame is upon the thief, and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small.
All right, appreciate it, brothers. You went out here and knocked that out for Sister Tab. Appreciate it. All right, let's make this one. Breath on fire on 100,000. Oof. My mouth dry. I had to take that Kia today. That Allegra. Because my sinuses, I gotta have it. I couldn't even sit up here. I don't have any announcements today. I don't have any. So we're just going to move straight into the lesson today. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. Don't have any announcements. Other than I'll be sending out the financial report here soon. I'll be putting it in what do you call that thing? In Telegram. All right, so I'll be texting it in Telegram. So if you are a part of PAMA and you want to see that, please get with me so you can see so you can be a part of our Telegram chat, and we put more information in the Telegram chat. So today the lesson is called flesh. All right. Again, we're going to be piggybacking off of what we already talked about. Some of the stuff we read in the past, 2-3 weeks. So this is a lesson from the past. I doubt anybody will remember this lesson. We probably did this lesson in 2019, somewhere in 2020. So let's get to it. All right. So we're going to go straight to Genesis because this is where it began, right? Because nobody, man knew nothing about flesh, about having a desire, until they bit that, that apple, that Macintosh fruit, that rainbow looking fruit, took one bite. But I doubt they took one bite. That whole thing. Once you do bad, you just can't stop. You go ahead and you don't quit. Get some ice cream and it's good. You just keep eating, right? Till it's all gone. That's how I do it. The Ben and Jerry's.
I did yesterday.
Oh, you did it yesterday?
Yeah, I got some ice cream yesterday.
Man, my wife be so mad at me, boy. She be hot, boy. You ate all that? Yeah, it was good. All right. So, fruit. All right, that fruit. All right. Hold on, Mike. I want to see something right quick. I want to make sure we should still be. They shouldn't see this. I just want to make sure. I don't think they can. All right. Fruit. Read that word for me, Mike. Fruit.
Fruit. The word fruit is often used to describe a person's outward actions that result from the condition of the heart.
The condition of the heart. So the fruit is just not, something you pick off a tree. It's a condition, all right, describing what? The outward action that results to the condition of the heart. All right, your heart is what? Your mind. And we know for years, those that, went to church, we all went to church. They always say, you need to let Jesus come into your heart. But like the brother, I can't think of the brother's name. What's that brother? How you that rapper name? The brother. I be calling him Parsley.
Oh, Paisley.
Yeah, Paisley. Yeah, Paisley the Hebrew. He said, what did he say? He said, my heart is like a motor. It just pump blood. In his lyrics, he said, but my mind is my real heart. To that extent. I can't say it verbatim, but it was good what he said. But yeah, the heart is where all the information comes from, the mind. All right. But let's talk about this piece of fruit. All right. Let's read this right quick. Let's go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. All right.
Book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Most High Ahia had made.
Go ahead.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Ahia said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
Well, did he say you can't eat from every tree of the garden? Now check out what the woman said.
And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Ahia hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
But Ahia said you shouldn't eat it. He didn't say nothing about touching it. Of course we know that. But we also know when you do the research that Eve was by herself, right? She was all alone. All right, when you get by yourself, that's when urges come, right? Whatever that urge is or whatever you have an issue with, it comes when you're by yourself. All right. And, if you're by yourself and you feel like something coming on, call somebody. Call a brother. Call a sister. To get your mind off of it. Defeat it. Get the victory. All right. Because that's when evil really comes on you when you're by yourself. All right. Keep going.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And the serpent said unto the woman,
Mm.
Ye shall not surely die.
See, the serpent said, "You shall not surely die." Go ahead.
For Ahiah doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened,
Mm.
and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil.
You shall be what?
As gods, knowing good and evil.
Go ahead.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes,
See, it was what?
it was pleasant to the eyes.
It was pleasant to the eyes. This tree was beautiful. It couldn't have been a regular old apple tree. Apple tree, I mean, it's cool and all, but it don't entice you to go pick from it. All right, go ahead. She said it was pleasant to the eyes and good for food.
And a tree to be desired to make one wise.
See that she was like, okay, so they didn't. The Most High never told them nothing concerning this tree and how it would make you wise. All right, the serpent came and told them that. All right, Lucifer came and whispered this in their ear, gave them a little bit more information that they didn't know about. So it really enticed her to use it, to eat from the tree. All right, because it was appealing to what? It was appealing to her flesh. See, her flesh was already working before she even bit it, because she wanted to get pleasure from the tree. All right, go ahead.
She took of the fruit thereof
Mhm.
and did eat,
And did eat.
and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verses 21 through 22. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are you ready, brothers and sisters? All right.
Book of 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
For the first Adam, bearing a wicked heart, transgressed, and was overcome.
It was what?
Overcome.
He was overcome by his flesh. All right. We don't know exactly what Eve did or what she said, to Adam to entice him to eat from the tree of good and evil, because the Most High told him not to do it. So I don't know what she did, but she had to say something that was pleasing to his ears. All right. For him to indulge in it. He had to think it was cool. He had to feel like if I do this, I'm gonna be in with everybody else. I'm gonna be in with Eve. It was just him and Eve. He was like, okay, I need to do this. I'll be in. Go ahead.
And so be all they that are born of him. Thus infirmity was made permanent.
This who?
Infirmity was made permanent.
So the infirmity was made permanent. What's the infirmity? Infirmity is sickness. It was made permanent. All right. So we're getting into the nicks and crannies and the cranks of this flesh thing, right? Breaking it all the way down. All right. Read that one more time. Read 22 again.
Verse 22. Thus infirmity was made permanent.
Mm-hmm.
And the law also in the heart of the people with the malignity of the root.
All right. So the law was what?
In the heart of the people.
Yeah, it was made in the heart of the people with the what? Well, I can never say that.
The malignity of the root.
With the malignity of the root. All right. It says, so what? Keep going.
So that the good departed away.
The who?
The good departed away.
The good departed away.
And the evil abode still.
And the evil abode still. All right. So, man. So good. Why does this good depart away? Because we know now that what? We know that they are subject to the flesh now. All right. They're subject to the flesh, because as as soon as Adam and Eve figured out that they, as soon as they ate from the tree, they became what? As guys, knowing good and evil. All right, so they know what tastes good, what feel good, what look good, what look bad. All right, so they're subject to their flesh. Something that they weren't subject to before. All right, so just about, okay, when most people are subject to their flesh, what would we call that person when somebody's completely all about their flesh? Would it be a fornicator or something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but huh?
I mean, that's one thing they could be.
Yeah, but they are selfish.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they all about what makes them feel good. That's a very fleshly person when they don't think about others. Because they only think about what makes them feel good right now. All right. And then people that are full of pride. Most people that are boasters, they are very fleshly. People that talk about their substance or any of this type of stuff, on a regular basis, like most people that we know within our community, or what we would call, Black culture, it's very fleshly. It's about what make you feel good in the moment. Back in the day when I wrote this, I remember I said we was going through this in this particular moment of the lesson. I was like, people be out there living their best life. That's an old phrase. Now that's about 2 years old now. That's old now. But there was a song back in 2000, 2019? Yeah, living my best life.
Yeah.
Lil Duval with the big head. But now we're in 2022, it ain't stopped. It's always been that way. That's why that song was so catchy. If you can live your best life and be and change your identity. You know what I'm saying? You can live your best life. I can live my best life and go and compete in the Olympics with women. That's living my best life. But I seen some stuff last night. I was looking at some stuff, man. It's getting crazy out here. Speaking on that, like they actually making incentives for those people out there with all the letters, all right, to be able to live in a dorm room setting, so they can leave. Like it's like foster care. Like if they between 19 and 24, they can leave and go and live in a dormitory type setting. So they can just leave their family. They continue the perversion. So everybody in there is dealing with all the letters. But they allowing people, they're fixing things for people to be in their flesh completely. Well, you can be consumed in that environment.
They're making incentives too. Now I think California, someone showed me this.
Mm-hmm.
They paying you $900 a month
Yep.
to just to say you.
Just say you gay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can get a check.
Get a check.
Just that's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
How much they giving you?
Uh-huh.
$900 a month.
I'll tell them, hey, because I'm happy. Hey, I'll be like, I'm happy.
They can't be.
Happy, yeah.
That's what I saw that last night. It's real, bro.
So they got money to do that.
Started in San Francisco.
I think they got you had the LGBT community come together, and they actually working together to pull all the incentives that's for us. They getting everything. Like the reparations we supposed to get, we should be awarded. They're giving it to them. They can have it though. They can have it. Because I ain't, everything come with a price. It should.
Wait till they figure out they got to pay. Wait.
But taxes and stuff?
People, no, I'm saying wait till the good people figure out the end game. they ain't gonna be able to turn around, they just open and speak it.
Yeah, you talking about the people that's following along with it?
Or the good people who just being quiet, because they
Oh.
won't be politically correct.
Yes,
Just wait till they see the end game.
yes.
And they ain't gonna be able to cut to speak it out.
Mm-mm.
Just
Yeah.
wait.
That thing about wide open now.
But they've been talking about something that happened at Disney World with whoever, she a black lady too, I was so sad, but whoever running it now, they openly making stuff that's targeting the children.
Yes. Yep. I seen that
So
last night.
open with
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
See,
they would get one of us to be the poster child of this evil.
But I didn't know it was a sister. I seen a white woman talking about it.
She
Wow.
was so happy because she openly that way, and she was just so happy. She said, "Any little chance I get to interject that,
yeah,
I'm gonna do it."
I seen
That's
that video.
Just like open with it. The
Wow.
parents is
Right.
outraged because now
Why they
can see-
mad? They just need to quit watching Disney.
Ain't none. And I was, you know what I'm, but you know what I'm more amazed about? Throughout my whole life, any Disney kid never came out right.
No,
By
they
the
didn't.
time they got
Yeah.
old, they was on drugs, they was suicidal. None of the kids, why they so surprised? What they thought been happening? None
Mhm.
of the kids never, when they get to adulthood, they be crazy.
Yeah, the Breakfast Club. Because I remember watching everybody on the Breakfast Club. I think Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake,
Oh,
Christian Aguilera, all of them were on the Breakfast Club. I
that was
remember
great breakdown once they get
Yep.
adults.
He was on the Breakfast Club?
No, he was on Black TV.
Oh,
Having a breakdown.
They all do. They never come out right. What the parents thought was going on. How none of the kids don't come out right.
the parents knew what was going on.
Yeah,
They was willing to, yep. Like the Awesome Twins and all that. They were going through it.
Out right.
Mhm.
Never.
Yeah.
I guess the lady just saying it now. Now he was like, oh no, I'm thinking y'all kids. They been messing with y'all kids. She just telling you now. She ain't
Yeah.
hiding.
But yeah, but let me continue. Hang on, let me see where we at. You good, Sister Tab. I appreciate you putting that information out there. But we're slaves to our flesh, just like the people we just got finished talking about. Like they become reprobate completely. If we go to Romans, the first chapter, let's just go there right quick. They ain't even a part of the lesson. But since we don't went there, we gotta bring it out about this flesh stuff. All right. So Romans, we're gonna start at Romans chapter 1, verse 20.
It's 20. Okay.
All right. Speaking of people that are happy. They ain't really happy. And the people that stole the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Romans chapter 1, verse 20.
Uh-huh.
For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen,
Mm-hmm.
being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead,
Mm-hmm.
so that they are without excuse.
All right, so they are without excuse because we know that the Godhead is what? It's a family. It's the first family. It's the Holy Spirit is feminine and the higher is masculine, and they had a son, Yeshua. All right. So there's no excuse. All right. And then all the other so-called Godheads before Rome were all male and female. They had a child, right? Like even the pagans understood that before Rome, that there has to be a male and female, until Rome came on the scene. All right, come on.
Verse 21.
Uh-huh.
Because that when they knew not a higher, they glorified him not as a higher, neither were thankful,
Mm-hmm.
but became vain in their imaginations,
Yep.
and their foolish heart was darkened.
Mm-hmm.
Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
See, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. Just like, you know, we're going off a little bit, but man, they dealing with this science. You know, like the woman that's been appointed like the attorney, the top judge of the United States. She can't even tell you what a woman is. You know, she's a fool. She's a fool. How you forgive me? But she wise. You know, and she being celebrated. But she's foolish. I want to call her a fool. I want to go to hell. You know, but keep going.
And change the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man,
Mm-hmm.
and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore our higher also gave them up to uncleanness.
Read, go back to 23 and read that again. It says, and change what?
And change the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and to four-footed beasts, and to creeping things. Wherefore our higher also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves.
See, and they dishonoring their bodies between themselves. All right, and all different type of unrighteous acts. You know, from bestiality to interracial marriage to the list go on and on. You know, all the letters. They're gonna have 26 letters soon. I mean, you're gonna have to do like the brother said. You're gonna have to guard your kids, hide your wife. You know, I remember that meme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to. You know, your children, you gotta protect them, and your wife is gonna have to protect them. You're gonna have to get security cameras, all that, because if the world becomes extremely fleshly, most of the world is gonna be trying to figure out they want an easy target. You know, they want an easy target. They don't want something they got to fight for. You know, keep going.
Verse 25.
Because it's going to be like Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Yeah. I think in like 2018, 2017, you had people from the Atlanta community. They were in gangs and they were raping dudes on the street. You hear about that? They ain't really talk about it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know, but it was articles out there.
In America?
Yes. Out there gang raping. And see, when I was in the military, you had people gang raping people on the base. Yeah. It was two guys that got gang raped. All right, we had a track that went in. It was a big old field, it was a 1 mile track, I think. A 1 mile or 2 mile track. It was huge, and it was outside. And it was two guys that was out there doing something out there in the field at night, and you had some men that ran them down, held them down, and so did. They became Buddha warriors. Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's bad out here. It's bad. It's something serious, you know. But keep going. I don't want to get off.
Verse 25.
Verse 25.
Who changed the truth of a higher into a lie.
And see, that's the first thing they did. Was change the truth of a higher into a lie. All right. They done made their own Bible, right? That's fleshly, man. And worship what?
And worship and serve the creature.
And worship and serve the creature like man. All right, serve the man. You got to be politically correct when you talk. So that means you don't care about the Most High's will and speaking out against what's wrong. You're going to serve man. You're gonna make sure you please man. All right, go ahead.
And worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Amen. Keep going.
For this cause, Ahiah gave them up unto vile affections.
Vile affections.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
All right. So even the women. All right. So of course you see what's going on with women. They'll destroy their bodies so they can look more masculine. Or they'll dismember their body so they don't produce children. You know, that's against nature. All right. You know, you got sisters out there, you know, I'm just talking about us as a whole, sisters out there advocating for for Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was put together to kill us. And they out there arguing on forums with other people that it's a good thing. Like what? Do you know the history behind this? You know, but we're gonna keep going.
For this cause, Ahia gave them up unto vile affections.
Mm-hmm.
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust, one toward another. Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat.
So now the men are burning their lust one to another. All right, we know that. And then you know, I know as you read the scriptures and you read Leviticus 18 and you see that these things are ritualistic. All right. The Egyptians and the Gentiles, you know, especially on a high level, they partake in those, you know, insatiable ritualistic type behaviors to the gods, right? But you got our people, we doing it because we burning in lust. Like you got some brothers out here, they done went so far in their whoremonger that they can't get no more pleasure, so they go and deal with what? They burning their lust towards another man. Oh yeah. It ain't always something that went wrong with somebody. No. You got brothers out here, they experiment. Everybody out here now, they messed up. They out here trying everything. You know, like on the Utopia song, Zootopia. You seen Zootopia? You seen the movie Zootopia? Yeah, Zootopia. They got a song on there. What's her name? Shakira. She got a song called "Try Everything." Yeah, and the song it's catchy. And I know the girls, they be watching the movie, they be saying like, I be like, look, don't sing that song, because you don't need to try everything. You got to have we got laws, you know. I told Ava, I said, Shakira telling you that you should eat pork. No, she's not. I said, she's telling you to try everything. Oh, try everything. He like it. Everyone turned around. He ready to sing it. But the song is catchy. But the movie is about all different type of species living together in one city. You got all these different animals. Check it out. You'll see it's a lot of stuff in those movies, those little kid movies. Zootopia.
Disney movie.
It's DreamWorks.
It's a Disney.
It's probably an off branch. Pixar, all those, you know. But keep going, bro.
Yep, verse 28.
Uh-huh.
And even as they did not like to retain Ahia in their knowledge,
They do not.
Ahia gave them over to a reprobate mind,
See?
to do those things which are not convenient.
It's not convenient to do that. It ain't convenient. But the world, like, is that convenient?
No.
No. Ain't no way that's convenient. That is an inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
That's nasty. That's beyond nasty. You know, for the sake of life. If we went live, I'd probably go into some stuff, but we live. Keep going.
Verse 29.
Yes.
Being filled with all unrighteousness,
Being filled with all unrighteousness. Go ahead.
fornication, wickedness,
Covetousness,
maliciousness, full of envy.
You see, these people that we talking about be full of it. All right, because they full of the flesh. They have peaked the flesh out. How much further can you go once you change yourself? All right, you don't completely change yourself. What, Caitlyn Jenner now. It used to be what's his name? Bruce Jenner. But you gone. You are gone. If you took a lion and cut his mane off, it'll go crazy. My hair is gone. You know what I'm saying? But you know, for the sake of life, we're gonna keep going.
Full of envy,
Full of envy,
murder.
So these people have envy and murder on their mind, right? But they saying they being bullied.
Mm.
They envy us when we walk with our family, right? They want us, they envy women that say they pregnant. They said now when you do certain procedures, you have to ask a man if he's pregnant. I wish they would ask me. Like, what do I look like I'm pregnant? I got a beard. I got a beard on my face. Of course not. Kind of quick.
Crazy.
If you do a CAT scan, I think in England, somewhere, they asking men now, all men, if they're pregnant. I seen it last night. I was looking at stuff last night. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's murder, debate,
Of course, debate, that's all they do. All right. Go ahead.
deceit,
Of course, deceit. You see what's that thing called? RuPaul. I didn't know that was a thing. I knew it was a big when I was little, but I was walking around saying, "Cover girl," singing that song, Tab. I didn't know I was a little boy. I was young, singing RuPaul song. That's a dang old man. I went back, I looked at that video. I think it was about 2 months ago. I said, but that's crazy. That is crazy. It's like a month star from Space Jams. Well, yeah. Keep going up. Keep going. I'm telling the truth now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My eyes were not open. I could see, but I could not see. Go ahead.
Malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of a higher,
haters of who?
a higher,
Of course they hate a high.
despiteful,
Mm-hmm.
proud, boasters, inventors of evil things.
Oh my goodness, we can go on and on. Like we have to move on from this. Keep going.
Inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents,
Of course they disobedient to their parents. Why? All right, we know how are these type of people disobedient to their parents? How? Somebody answer that, please.
they
Selfish.
they trying to get away from what made them like man and woman.
Yeah, but they're not producing
They're
children.
not producing children. They're not.
Yeah. I got family members right now, men. Their parents are upset because they don't have grandchildren.
Hmm.
You know, but I'm gonna leave it right there.
Also, I think they came out with a man's plan B now.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah. How you do that?
Oh God, I don't know.
So would you take the plan B before you get started?
I guess.
Man, that's
Is it
crazy.
before or
man.
after?
That's crazy. Even I hear brothers talk about. I know some people that's done got clipped or whatever. I'm like, man, what happens to that chemical part of your body? Like something happens to you when you do that. Just like when sisters, when y'all remove your ovaries, like it does something to you. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Well, I know women that have their ovaries removed.
And they say something different.
It's different. Yeah. Like, no,
I said they probably.
I don't know. The only time to tell. You know, they're gonna be complaining sooner or later. You know, because the action is still occurring, but it's But continue.
Without understanding,
Without understanding, of course.
covenant breakers,
Without
natural affection,
Mm-hmm.
implacable, unmerciful,
Merciful. Go ahead.
who knowing the judgment of Ahia.
Who knowing the judgment of Ahia, because they know Ahia ain't. They carry the rainbow around.
Mhm.
You got at some point you have to go and look up, where did this come from? If you've never been in the church, you'll see it, and they're gonna see it come straight from the scriptures. So, and then they see why the Most High put it there, because he said he wasn't gonna do what, flood the earth again, because of the same crap they doing, if not worse. All right, before the flood, go ahead.
That they which commit such things are worthy of death,
Mm-hmm.
not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
But what? Then I also do the same,
But have pleasure in them that do them.
but have pleasure in them that do them. So if you don't do what they do, then what? They don't like you.
Mhm.
All right. That's the wave that that's gonna be coming against, common people. It's gonna be these people. They're gonna be out to get you. You're gonna be out with your family, and they're gonna be like, what is they don't want it, they're not gonna figure it out. Blah. Yeah, I'm tired. They're not gonna want to acknowledge your family. Because sooner or later, everybody had to be binary or something like that. But even if you binary, that's a 1 and a 0.
Mhm.
So, me being a program, I'm like, how you going to call yourself binary? Because you have to choose a 0 or a 1. It ain't no in between.
Exactly.
It ain't no gray code.
Mhm.
They should have used another term, but they think they so wise. Bro. They think they wise, and they don't even know what they're saying. And they say, "Oh, I'm binary." Okay, what are you, a 1 or a 0? That's binary is 1s and 0s. They should have said what hexa. What hexa? I don't know hexa. You could be a letter or something like that. With hexadecimal, you could be a F, you could be an A, you could be a B, a C, a D, and an F outside of the numbers. But they just, okay, you binary, what are you, a 1 or a 0?
Right.
What do you mean? Who made you a biologist? That's what they say now. When did you become a biologist? Like, I did take biology in high school.
Right.
Like, what changed since then? Man. All right, we're going way off. All right, let's get back to the lesson. All right, okay, let's go to Romans. Romans 7:15 through 24.
Okay.
All right, going into Paul. All right, we read this during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the whole chapter.
Yes.
But we're gonna break it down a little bit.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 15. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I.
Ooh, so he said, wow, that's a mouthful, right? He said, but what I hate, that I do. All right. So when you have people that's full of their flesh, you think they don't really like what they do. They want to stop, but they can't. They think they can because they don't know they don't know the proper steps to quit what they doing. Right. All right, go ahead.
If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
See, it's the sin that dwelleth in you. Go ahead.
For I know that in me, that is my flesh, dwelleth no good thing.
See, the flesh dwelleth no good thing. All right, but they'll tell, but the saying out there now, what is the saying out there? Wow, I'm trying to think. That's on the tip of my tongue. Dang, what did they say? Man. I'm trying to think. It's a saying out there now when it comes to, doing what you want to do.
Oh, man.
Well, that too, yeah. They had a saying back in the day, back in the 70s, let it all hang out. you know, or it's something new now. I just can't think of what it is. Yeah, you only got one life. That's one too. You know, so live life to the fullest.
Live and let live.
Yeah, live and let live. It's a whole bunch of different sayings.
We probably heard it before.
I can't. It'll probably come to me. All right. It says for what? It says for.
For to will is present with me.
No,
But
read 18 again.
For I know that in me, that is my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not.
See, they find not. Why? Because they go to these churches and they accept it. And they the pastors tell them that all you got to do is what? You can pray and ask for forgiveness. Every time you go to the dungeon in Atlanta, ask for forgiveness. You'll be you will be forgiven. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting it out there. That's where they be going. They be going to them dungeons, doing all type of stuff they ain't got no business. All right, we gonna be real, without saying too much to get counsel. All right, but yeah, go ahead.
19. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would, that I do. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
So he said it's not no more than me. You doing it. All right, it's your flesh. You have no control over your you have no discipline, basically. None. It's all about what make you feel good. No discipline at all. And we know that discipline comes from what? It comes from the law. But we're gonna let the scripture say that. Go ahead.
I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me.
So when you do good, you still want to do bad. Right? And see, and that's the thing, like you have people that deal with the flesh at an insatiable height, and they say, since we're talking about we on this, we at the pinnacle of fleshliness, and we're talking about the little community. Like they'll say, some men or women will say, my whole life I was trying to live right, but it was just something that it was in me that kept making me want to go to this other side, right? To do things that they shouldn't do. All right. But they knew that being who they were or who they were born to be, all right, as they were born, not who they were born to be, because that's somebody can argue that right now. They can go back and forth. But when you but they know that they're born a certain way. They're born, either with a 1 or a 0, like we was talking about earlier, and they fight. It's something in them fighting against them that makes them want to go the route that they shouldn't go. All right, go ahead. But before they met with a decision, but doing that. I gotta mute my phone. But go ahead, bro. I done lost my train of thought. Read 21 one more time.
21. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of Ahio.
So who?
I delight in the law of Ahio.
See, the law is what keep us from what? Doing the things that we shouldn't do. All right. And most people out here never fully were able to get a full understanding of what the law can do for them. It was more of when you think of the Most High's laws, especially people in the world, they think of it as what? As being in chains or being shackled or not being able to experience things that are in the world. You ain't supposed to experience all this stuff. That stuff right there, it can drive you to an early grave, because you're abusing your body. All right, go ahead.
For I delight in the law of Ahio
Mm.
after the inward man,
Go ahead.
but I see another law in my members,
Mm-hmm.
warring against the law of my mind.
All right, what we read in Second Ezra. All right, what was put on, all the children of Adam when Adam bit of the fruit. Go ahead.
And bringing me into captivity to
Mm.
the law of sin,
See, you can be brought into captivity. All right, if you don't have discipline. Go ahead.
which is in my members.
Which is what?
in my members.
Which is in your members, your flesh. All right. It's an infirmity. All right. If you're selfish or whatever you got going on, if you're dealing with gluttony, if you're dealing with drunkenness, if you're dealing with you can't control your eyes when you see something, you gotta look, and you're thinking about it, it's all about discipline. All right. And the law is there. Even if the law don't say certain things, Christ breaks down stuff. Like when Christ said, when you look upon a woman and you thinking too much, you already committed adultery in your mind. And then he said what? He said, then you might as well pluck your right eye and cut off your right hand. All right? Because what Christ is talking about, he's talking, I don't want to say it on live, but Christ is talking about men or women doing things to themselves, abusing their bodies by themselves, if that makes sense. Christ said it straight out.
Sure.
Have you read that what Christ talked about? If you sin, he said pluck your eye out. He said, and if you
your right hand
Yeah.
offends you.
yeah
Yeah.
cut it off. That's what he's talking about. Man, I was like, whoa! I was reading it. I was like, boy, I didn't know that. Like, I know Paul said something, but Christ did too. He was being straightforward with it. It was just you don't make that connection, but that whole section is about that. It's about fornication and adultery and committing adultery in your mind. All right, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at like when you read Susanna, like it was perverted priests.
Yep.
Them jokers was tripping. So they would probably be in the bushes looking at a woman, and you know what I'm saying? They over there in the bushes, living it up, living their best life by themselves. Nasty. So Christ was being real, and I'm being real right now. It sound bad because we in the scripture, but this is flesh.
Yeah.
Something we need to get rid of. All right. Keep going though. Going to 2024.
Let me read 23 again.
Go ahead, brother.
But I see another law in my members,
Uh-huh.
warring against the law of my mind,
Mhm.
and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am,
Oh, wretched man. Oh, yes, I am. Go ahead.
who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Ahia through Yeshua Christ,
Mhm.
our master, so that with the mind I myself serve the law of Ahia,
See what?
that with the mind I myself serve the law of Ahia,
Uh-huh.
but with the flesh the law of sin.
See, when you in your flesh, you serve the law of sin. But when you dealing with the Most High, you serving what? You following the law. And this is right in the New Testament. So when you reading this, when somebody say that you ain't supposed to keep the law, go straight here. Like, how did Paul know he was sinning? Before they were like, well, we know Paul was sinning because he was killing Christians. We ain't talking about Paul, talking about something totally different. He talking about something between him and only him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't talking about that.
Right. Yeah.
He ain't talking about that.
He thought he was righteous then.
Yeah, so
He thought he was
did.
doing right.
Christ had to knock him out the horse. All right. So let's go to Reuben. We're gonna go to Reuben in the 12 patriarchs. All right, we're gonna go to the 12 patriarchs. We're gonna go into some details concerning the flesh. We're gonna go a little deep today, just a little bit. All right. So we purging that leaven. We're gonna knock it out the park. All right. So Reuben, chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 2 through 9.
It's the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs. It's Testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 2. 2 years after the death of Joseph, his brother, when Reuben fell ill, his sons and his sons' sons were gathered together to visit him. And he said to them, "My children, behold, I am dying, and go the way of my fathers." And seeing there Judah and Gad and Asher and his brethren, he said to them, "Raise me up, that I may tell to my brethren and to my children what things I have hidden in my heart. For behold, now at length I am passing away." And he arose and kissed them, and said unto them, "Hear, my brethren, and do ye, my children, give ear to Reuben your father, and in the commands which I give unto you."
All right. So wow, this is again like the control that the patriarchs had. All right. This, we have to get that back, brothers. All right, with our children, we have to tell our children, the things that we did in the past, before we die. All right, so they won't make the same mistakes. Go ahead.
"And behold, I call to witness against you this day."
And matriarchs, we have to tell your daughters, don't try to hide it, because we you need to tell them before they find out. For somebody else, and then it's not gonna be good. You won't be able to explain it. It'll be more of an embarrassment. All right, go ahead. That's between that's your family. Go ahead.
"And behold, I call to witness against you this day the power of heaven, that ye walk not in the sins of youth and fornication."
See, go ahead.
Wherein I was poured out.
The sins of youth and fornication. Go ahead.
Wherein I was poured out, and defiled the bed of my father Jacob.
See, it was so bad. He was lusting so bad that he went to his father's bed. Right? You see what I'm saying? All these other women he could have had, he won't bail high. His father's wife. That's crazy. All right, that's what the flesh can do to you. All right, go ahead.
"And I tell you that he smote me with a sore plague in my loins for 7 months. And had not my father Jacob prayed for me to the Most High, the Most High would have destroyed me. For I was 30 years old when I wrought the evil thing upon the Most High."
He was 30 years old. 30. Go ahead.
"And for 7 months I was sick unto death. And after this I repented with set purpose of my soul for 7 years before the Most High. And wine and strong drink I drank not.
So he fasted for 7 years. Come on.
And flesh entered not into my mouth.
No meat, no wine. Go ahead.
And I ate no pleasant food.
No ice cream, cakes, cookies. What else? Steak. We already said meat. No Tabasco sauce. None of that. You had to eat everything plain. No salt on your chicken. For those that eat chicken. Oh yeah.
We
already said no meat. Go ahead. Oh, my bad.
But I mourned over my sin, for it was great, such as had not been in Israel.
See? Go ahead. Come on. Let's see where we're going. Go to chapter 3, right quick. Chapter 3, verse 1 through 8.
Oh. Testament of Reuben, chapter 3, verse 1. "Besides all these, there is an eighth spirit asleep."
Hold on. No. Let me go back. Let me make sure. No, start at you good right here. My bad.
Okay, 2 and 1.
Yeah, 2 and 1.
Testament of Reuben 2 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
And now hear me, my children, what things I saw concerning the 7 spirits of deceit when I repented. 7 spirits, therefore, are appointed against man.
All right, so it tell you that Reuben was able to get understanding from what? From fasting, y'all. This is how you get understanding of your flesh and everything that's going on with you when you fast. If you're not fasting, if you're not doing any supplication, you're not going to have any discipline. You're gonna better control yourself. You're gonna fall to that sin over and over and over again. All right. And me, I know I was dealing with something. The only way I was able to overcome it, I had to fast. I was seeking out understanding on what to do. And the only thing that I didn't do was fast. So fasting will get rid of a lot of stuff. It'll get rid of spirits. All right. It'll get rid of that stuff. And it'll beat up the flesh. And you'll feel yourself, you'll see that you'll have more of a connection, with your body and just be in control of your members. All right. And have a closer connection. You'll feel connected with the heavens. You'll just feel better. All right. Go ahead.
And they are the leaders in the works of youth.
They are the leaders in the works of youth. Go ahead.
And 7 other spirits are given to him at his creation.
7 other spirits are given to him in his creation.
That through them should be done every work of man. The first is the spirit of life, with which the constitution of man is created.
Mm-hmm.
The second is the sense of sight.
The second is the sense of sight,
with which ariseth desire.
Say what?
With which ariseth desire.
All right, so your sight is what causes you to desire. All right. So, if we go and we talk about what Christ said, he was like, the eye is what? Is the light of the body. All right. So if you're looking at things you shouldn't be looking at, you're gonna be full of darkness. All right. If you're keeping yourself from looking at things that are unseemly, then you won't be polluting your mind. All right, which until like we read earlier, all right, it says read that again, what fruit says.
The word fruit is often used to describe a person's outward actions that result from the condition of the heart.
See? All right, the way you act is a condition of your mind. All right, go ahead.
The third is the sense of hearing.
Sense of hearing.
With which cometh teaching.
Which cometh teaching. So if you listening to the wrong stuff, like you listening to the wrong type of music and all that type of stuff, that stuff is gonna subconsciously teach you, and you're gonna want to do what you're hearing. All right. If you're around people that you shouldn't be around, if we're grown, we got choices. You can choose who you want to be around, but people that don't mean you no good. If you're around those type of people and they don't mean you no good and they're not doing anything good, and all you hearing is cussing and things of that nature, that's what you're gonna do. It's gonna be monkey see, monkey do. Go ahead. A monkey hear, monkey do. Or repeat. Go ahead.
The fourth is the sense of smell.
Sense of smell. With
which tastes are given to draw air and breath.
All right. Because if you can't smell, you can't taste. When COVID happened, that's what happened. They took that sense away. Somehow they figured that out. All right. They created a virus that could take away your sense of smell and taste. Go ahead.
The fifth is the power of speech.
The power of speech.
With which cometh knowledge.
Which cometh knowledge. And with speech cometh other things too, because the tongue is ridiculous. And see, the tongue is a part of the flesh. That's crazy, y'all. Like you can't say everything. You got to guard it. You got to learn how to control your tongue. All right. Every opinion ain't the best. Try to speak facts. All right, go ahead.
The sixth is the sense of taste.
The who?
The sense of taste,
Mm-hmm.
with which cometh the eating of meats and drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and by its strength is produced.
Uh-huh.
For in food is the foundation of strength.
Mm. Go ahead.
The seventh is the power of procreation and sexual intercourse.
See? Wow. So that the seventh is what? Is procreation and sexual intercourse. It says, with which through love of pleasure sin enter in. So that's the first thing they want to beat you down with is your sexual sense. Because everything is what? Everything is really propagated, or they use propaganda through, through sexuality. Even when you eating something. I remember the hardest commercial with Paris Hilton. She riding a bull eating a sandwich. Like what? So you got everything going on in this commercial. The only thing you can't do is smell the sandwich. But you can go taste it. But you seeing this woman on this bull eating this sandwich. You don't know nothing about that. You was a baby.
I think I've seen something like that.
You was looking up some stuff back in the day. You was a baby. That was like 2003.
2003.
But that was back in the day. That was way back there. That's what
I'm
Harley.
be thinking about something else.
Yes.
Come on.
All right. Best with you, bro. All right, so keep going though. Let's go to. Let me see if you want to. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. Wherefore it is the last in order of creation, and the first is in that of youth, because it is filled with ignorance, and leadeth the youth as a blind man to a pit, and as a beast to a precipice.
See, and that's what. See, all these things. This is the flesh right here. Everything we just read about is the flesh. All the 8 senses are your flesh. You have to learn how to control these. If you can't control one of them, it's gonna cause you to fall. All right. So the spirit of life, sight. All right. The sense of hearing. The fourth, smell. The fifth, the power of speech. All right. The sixth, the sense of taste. All right. And the seventh is what? Is the power of procreation. All right. And there's one more. Go ahead.
Besides all these, there is an 8th spirit of sleep.
There's an 8th spirit of sleep. And you have to learn how to control that too. Because some people want to sleep all the time. Go ahead.
With which is brought about the trance of nature and the image of death.
And the image of death, because when you sleep, what are you doing? You pretty much dead.
Yeah.
You pretty much dead. And that's what they want everybody at. They want everybody sleeping. They want you in the metaverse. You know what I'm saying? Like when we watched that movie Upgrade, you know them people was in there, they was in the metaverse or that virtual reality world. It was gone. It was like this. That was out of here, bro. It looked like they were sleepwalking. All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
With these spirits are mingled the spirits of error.
All right, so now we're going to go into the spirits of error. Go ahead.
First, the spirit of fornication.
The who?
The spirit of fornication.
Wow.
Is seated in the nature and in the senses.
Mm-hmm.
The second is the spirit of insatiableness.
Insatiableness. In what? In the belly.
Mm-hmm. In the belly.
But insatiableness, period, where you can't stop doing something. Like you got to have it at access. All right, go ahead.
The third, the spirit of fighting.
The spirit of fighting.
In the liver and gall. The fourth is the spirit of obscureness.
Oh man, I can't say that one. Well, we're gonna go straight to chicanery. All right, chicanery. Yeah, trickery. All right. that through what?
All right. That through officious attention, one may be fair and seeming.
All right. So, again, talking about the chicanery, you might be fair and seeming. That's what they're doing with the makeup. All right. That's trickery. That's witchcraft.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
The fifth is the spirit of pride.
Or like when you have people thinking that you're good and you're really not good. All right. You hiding stuff. Go ahead.
That one may be boastful and arrogant. The sixth is the spirit of lying. In perdition and jealousy.
Perdition and jealousy. To practice what?
Deceits.
And
concealments from kindred and friends.
All right. So why are you concealing yourself from kindred and friends? Again, you trying to hide stuff. You got a lot of stuff going on, and you separate yourself from what? From family and friends. All right. If there's an individual that's doing that, and you know that, you need to check on that person. All right, because they got something going on. It's a spirit there. It's a demon attached to their flesh now. All right, that's keeping them away from you. Well, not keeping away from you, but that's keeping. They want to make sure that you're not in the picture because you can help them. All right, go ahead.
The seventh is the spirit of injustice.
The spirit of injustice,
with which are thefts and acts of rapacity, that a man may fulfill the desire of his heart.
See, it says it's greed, excessive greed, aggressive greed. It's rhapsody. All right. So when you're completely in your flesh, all you care about is yourself. That's excessive greed. All right, go ahead.
For injustice worketh together with the other spirits by the taking of gifts.
By the who?
The taking of gifts. And with all these, the spirit of sleep is joined, which is that of error and fantasy.
All right, so now you erring in fantasy. Now you're in the fantasy world. Like some people sit around and daydream about things that they want or things that they wish they had. Like that's a fantasy. Because at that time, you just sat there and you just be sitting there thinking. You sleeping. Especially if you're thinking about stuff that you can't have or that you wish you had. Like you have to snap out of that thing. Come up out of there. Because what you're doing, you're wasting time. And then you also have devices. Now we have apps like Facebook and Twitter and all that. You can, man, look at that, man. I wish I had what such and such had. So now they got it now where you can execute just about everything we just said by just looking at a Facebook. And then you ain't even around that person. Go ahead.
And so perisheth every young man, darkening his mind from the truth and not understanding the law of Ahia.
See, that's what everything boils down to. Not just the young man, but the young woman as well. All right.
Nor obeying the admonitions of his fathers, as befell me also in my youth.
All right. So you don't obey your fathers. All right. When your flesh is extremely high, you're not going to obey what your father says. It's all about what you want. All right, because if you're extremely fleshly, the only thing that's coming next is them demons. Because them demons, they're going like, oh man, you already broke down. You gone. Like Christ said, all you got to do is break down the strong man. Once you break down the strong man, then what? You can take over the house. So if you fleshly and that's all you worried about, your spirit is out of here. You really in the sunken place, like on the movie Get Out. You in the brain somewhere and you stuck. You don't sunk in the couch. It's flesh taking over now with the demon. The demon here, you gone. All right. So let's go to. Let's see, man. Let's go to Reuben chapter 4, verse 8 through 11. All right, so we're gonna Ruben's gonna talk a little bit about Joseph. Stick with me, y'all. Stick with me. I know it's taxing.
This is the Testament of Reuben, chapter 4, verse 8. For ye heard regarding Joseph, how he guarded himself from a woman, and purged his thoughts from all fornication, and found favor in the sight of a higher and men.
You see this? Read it one more time.
For ye heard regarding Joseph, how he guarded himself from a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and purged his thoughts from all fornication, and found favor in the sight of a higher and men.
All right, so you gotta understand, Joseph had all these 8 senses just like we did. He was able to overcome it. But he had to purge those thoughts of fornication because the thoughts of fornication were there now. This woman wasn't ugly. You know, he had to get that out of his mind. Like, shake it off. All right. All right, go ahead.
For the Egyptian woman did many things unto him, and summoned magicians and offered him.
Wow. So she used magic on this. She was trying to put a root on him. Try to put a root on him. Go ahead.
And summoned magicians and offered him love potions.
Mm.
But the purpose of his soul admitted no evil desire.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the power of your fathers delivered him from every evil.
You say who?
The power of your fathers delivered him from every evil
Go ahead.
and hidden death. For if fornication overcomes not your mind, neither can Beliar.
See, if you can resist fornication, boy, you can resist the devil. Wow. Because fornication, you gotta think about it. Fornication is what? Fornication deals with every part of your senses. It deals with every part of your senses. Everything is working when you're dealing to act like that. So if you can resist that, that's why it's the most High said, look, I gave woman to man so he can live great. He can live good. He gave, we have as family down here, as woman and man. When a man and a woman come together and they become one flesh, right? Man, the angel said that's better than heaven. I got to go down there. And I got to execute my 8 senses. Because I'm looking, but I'm not enduring. I'm not indulging. They had to execute everything. You know what I'm saying? And they in hell right now for fornication. For real. Right now. That's crazy. Nigga, sit there laughing. What you laughing at? I'm saying right now. All right. Who is? All right, bro. Okay. So let's go. We're gonna read a little bit about what happened with Joseph, just a little bit. All right, to see what Joseph encountered. All right, so let's go to the 12. We're still in the 12 patriarchs. We're gonna go to Joseph's testimony, chapter 3. Oh, I gotta go home and take a bath. Woo! Ready to get it. Chapter 3. I'll say chapter 3. All right. Verse 1. All right.
Yeah. This is the Testament of Joseph, chapter 3, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
How often did the Egyptian woman threaten me with death? How often did she give me over to punishment and then call me back and threaten me? And when I was unwilling to company with her, she said to me, Thou shalt be Lord of me, and all that is in my house, that thou wilt give thyself unto me, and thou shalt be as our master. But I remembered the words of my father, and going into my chamber, I wept and prayed unto the Most High. And I fasted in those 7 years, and I appeared to the Egyptians as one living delicately. For they that fast for a higher sake receive beauty of face.
All right, so you see this, right? All right. So he had everything. Everything was he had everything that could have been given to him at that time. So if Joseph would have took that right there, he would have never been what? Second in command. And then our forefathers would have never what ruled over Egypt. So you got to think about. We always have to think about what we're doing. We can't give it to our flesh because if we do, I'm telling you, it's something that the Most High has something greater for you if you can pass the test. And Joseph, that was a hard test to pass. Hard test to pass for Joseph. All right. All right. So let's go to the conclusion. All right. Let's go to Romans 7, 12 and 14. We're going to read that one more time.
Yep.
And we're going to read about the flesh and the spirit. So I ain't keeping y'all too long. We're doing good. We used to do 3 hours on stuff like this. Woo! We're getting a little better.
Romans 12.
Yeah, Romans chapter 7, verse 12. But every time we see something where somebody's going through something, they make it through by fasting. All right. If you really want to do the will of the Most High and you encounter with something, fast. That's the only that will, of course, with supplication because he was praying as well. But you must fast. Because Christ said sometimes you can't just pray a demon out. You gotta fast. All right.
Romans 7 and 12.
Uh-huh.
Wherefore the law is holy.
The who?
The law is holy.
The law was holy.
And the commandment holy. And just and good. Was then that which is good made death unto me? A higher forbid. But sin, that it might appear sin, worketh death in me by that which is good. That sin by the commandment might become exceeding sinful.
See, but sin by the commandments become what? Exceeding sinful. All right. Because the commandments, even like Reuben said in the past, Reuben told his children and we have the records to read it. The only way that we can overcome this is by what? The law of he said the law of God or the law of a height, right? Or the law of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They knew that back then because there were laws on fornication before the children of Israel received the law of the mountain. All right, go ahead. Read 14.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
For we know that the law is spiritual.
It's what?
It's spiritual.
See, the law is spiritual. Everything else is what? Flesh. Go ahead.
But I am carnal.
Sold under sin.
Yep.
All right, that's good right there. That's good. All right. Now, the law is spiritual, right? And everything that we are is what? Is flesh or sin or carnal. All right, so let's go to Galatians chapter 5, verse 19 through 21. So let's read this. Let's read what spiritual is. Because you hear this all the time. I know I did, the Christians would take you here and you would read this and be like, but you ain't dealing with that. We all dealing with 19 through 21 somewhere. You definitely are. All right.
Galatians 5 and 19.
Read 18.
18.
Yes.
But if ye be led of the Spirit.
But if you be what?
If you be led of the Spirit.
The law.
Ye are not under the law.
You are not under the law. So that means if you are led of the Spirit, that means what? You know everything about the law and you don't need the law. Who is spiritual? There's only one.
No, the Most High.
The Most High. The Most High is the only one that's good. Even Christ said that. He said even the Most High is bound by laws. Not the Most High, excuse me. Christ is bound by laws. Forgive me, I didn't mean to say that. you know. So yeah, you know, that's how we know that there's a difference between Christ and the Most High by what Christ said when he said there's none good. There's no man good, not even himself. He said there's only one good, that's him that is in heaven on the throne. All right. So a higher is spiritual. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
Now the works of the
Read
flesh,
18 one time. Yeah.
if you be led by the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery,
Adultery,
fornication,
fornication,
uncleanness,
uncleanness,
lasciviousness, idolatry,
idolatry,
witchcraft,
witchcraft,
hatred, variance,
variance,
emulations,
emulations,
wrath,
wrath,
strife,
strife,
seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Ahia.
All right, and he said such like. So there's more. Paul said, I can't say everything. God. It's a lot of sin. All right. Now, it says, but what?
But the fruit of the Spirit is love,
Is love,
joy,
joy,
peace,
peace,
long-suffering,
long suffering. See, that's something we got to get there. Woo! Long suffering and peace. We got to have peace amongst ourselves. All right. I ain't talking about in a group. I'm talking about just as an individual. What is your peace? Are you at peace? Or are you always worried about something? Huh? Can you deal with long suffering? Can you deal with somebody doing something to you and you're not doing something back? Can you do that? Have you done that? And actually thought about the victory behind it. It takes a lot to do that. Go ahead. Gentleness. Go ahead. Goodness. Faith.
Meekness, temperance.
Say what?
Temperance.
Say it again.
Temperance.
Keeping your temper here without letting it go here. Ooh, it's hard. It's hard.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Against such there is no law.
Against such is no law. So you mean to tell ain't nobody doing all this all the time. So we, speaking to myself as well, we all need the law. Because there's no way in the world we can be that way all the time. So if you like that all the time, you don't need the Bible. Matter of fact, you might as well go and be in a black room. And you should have been in a black room with nothing around you from the day you were born. Because if you go in a black room with nothing around you, what you gonna do? You're gonna fall to them spirits. Because you're gonna start daydreaming and sleeping and dreaming and thinking about all the stuff that was what in the world that you left. You're gonna be sitting by yourself in a room, right? All right, go ahead. Let me see. That's it. All right, but keep going though. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go to 26.
And they that are Christ have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another.
See, provoking one another and envying one another. All right. Also, it says, if we walk in the Spirit, if we live in the Spirit, let us walk in the Spirit. What is the Spirit? What is spiritual? The law. We have to walk with that. Because we're not walking with 22 through 23 at all times. And with that being said, brothers and sisters, that's it. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pray and you know, we did it an hour and 30. Woo! Yeah, but we knocking these lessons out.
Yeah.
All right, Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.